annals of rugby, certain players transcend the sport and etch their names into the very fabric of its history. One such player is Antoine Dupont, a name synonymous with brilliance, speed, and an unyielding spirit. Today, we delve into the extraordinary journey of this modern-day gladiator, a journey that culminated in a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph. Dupont was born in La Maison, but grew up in the nearby village of Castagnon-Manoyac in southwestern France, where he started playing rugby for Manoyac FC at the age of 4. In 2011, he joined Auch as a junior. Antoine Dupont was destined for greatness. From a young age, his innate athleticism was apparent. Rugby, with its blend of physicality and skill, was his playground. His strong stature translated to an explosive power, and he possessed a rugby IQ that was far beyond his years. Dupont's early career was nurtured in the heartland of French rugby. He would rise through the ranks at Auch, but in 2014 at the age of 18, Dupont joined Castres in the top 14, French club rugby's premier division, after the relegation of Auch in the 2013-14 Rugby Pro D2 season. Castres Olympique became his proving ground. A club steeped in tradition, it was here that the raw talent began to be refined. Over the course of 3 seasons between 2014 and 2017, he would go on to make 61 appearances in all and scored 44 points, which wasn't half bad for a 20-year-old. In his final season at Castres, Antoine Dupont was selected for the France Under-20 team for the 2016 World Rugby Under-20 Championship. He was one of the stars of the tournament, scoring 36 points, which included 5 tries. This was pretty insane, considering the fact that he managed this in only 3 matches, as his team didn't make it out of the pool stages. In that November, he was selected for the French Barbarian team, which played and beat Australia. Dupont's ability to read the game, his lightning-fast passes, and his fearless defence, coupled with these fantastic performances, caught the eye of senior national selectors. The call-up to the French national team was inevitable, and on the 11th of March 2017, Dupont was called up to the French first team ahead of their 4th 2017 Six Nations Championship match against Italy. He made his debut in that game, coming on in the 72nd minute of an eventual 40-18 away win. But behind the scenes, a new era was dawning for Les Bleus, and Dupont was at its heart. His impact was immediate. With every game, his legend grew. The Six Nations became his stage and he was the star. His ability to control the tempo of a match, to create something out of nothing, was mesmerising. This form replicated to his club side Toulouse, who he joined at the start of the 2017-18 season. In just his second season there, Dupont won the top 14 with Toulouse after defeating Clermont-Auvergne 24-18 in the 2018-19 final. Dupont's rise coincided with a resurgence of French rugby. A team that had been in the doldrums for years was finding its feet again, and at the heart of it all was their diminutive number 9. His performances were nothing short of sensational. He was breaking records, winning awards, and redefining the role of a scrum half. In 2020, Dupont was named Six Nations Player of the Championship. Despite his outstanding performances, France narrowly missed out on the championship by points difference. The next season, he'd go from strength to strength with his club side Toulouse, where he captained them to a domestic and European double, winning the top 14 and Champions Cup respectively. At the end of 2021, Dupont would top it all off, winning the World Rugby Men's 15s Player of the Year, thus making him the best player in the world. He would show his world class barely a few months later, as he played a key role in France winning the 2022 Six Nations Championship, where they also went unbeaten to achieve the Grand Slam. Yet again he would be awarded Six Nations Player of the Championship, as France won their first Six Nations in 12 years. Though France were unable to retain their 2023 Six Nations crown, Dupont claimed his 3rd Player of the Championship trophy, becoming only the 2nd player in the sport's history to do so. Dupont would have another fantastic season with his club side Toulouse, captaining them to yet another top 14 title, making it his 3rd. Though Dupont had now truly made rugby history, winning everything he could domestically and helping his national side France reclaim the Six Nations, there was one achievement that was eluding him. winning with France on the world stage, and with the 2023 Rugby World Cup happening on home soil, there was no better moment to do this. He was selected to captain the 34-man squad for France as they hosted the 2023 Rugby World Cup. They would cruise through the pool stage, most notably stunning the All Blacks on the tournament's opening weekend. But unfortunately, they were knocked out in the quarter-finals after losing to eventual winner South Africa by just 1 point. Many were quick to slate France and Dupont, especially considering the fact that he was France's poster boy and captain. In their eyes, he should have led France to the World Cup, as it was their home tournament. But despite this unfair and uncalled for slander, Antoine Dupont refused to give up, and decided to embark on a journey in Rugby Sevens. In November 2023, Dupont announced his decision to switch to Rugby Sevens after World Cup disappointment in the hope of being selected for the Olympics and leading his team to Olympic gold. In fact, he was so committed to this vision that he skipped the 2024 Six Nations to focus solely on Sevens. Dupont and France's Sevens would have quite a memorable run in 2024. They'd finished third in the Canada Sevens, but would bounce back winning the USA and Spain Sevens titles respectively. Lastly, they would go on to top this, winning the annual World Rugby Sevens series. He'd make such an impact on that stage that he'd win the Rookie of the Year award. These achievements led to his call up to the Olympic team, and before he knew it, Antoine Dupont was Paris bound. The Paris Olympics was a new frontier for rugby. As hosts, this team had a lot of pressure to perform on such a grand sporting stage. For France and for Dupont, it was an opportunity to write a new chapter. The French team was a formidable force, but it was Dupont who was the catalyst. His speed, his agility, and his ability to offload in tight spaces were game changers. He was everywhere, a blur of blue in the white heat of Olympic competition. The final was a clash of titans, France against Fiji. The world held its breath. The game was a spectacle of athleticism and skill, but it was one moment, one play that would define Dupont's legacy. Time seemed to stand still. The crowd erupted. Dupont had done it. He had led his country to Olympic gold. In that moment, he became more than just a rugby player. He became a symbol of French sporting excellence. The journey from a small town boy to an Olympic champion is one that few will ever replicate. Antoine Dupont is a once-in-a-generation talent. His impact on the game is immeasurable. He has redefined the position of scrum half, and he's inspired a generation of young rugby players. The day Antoine Dupont became a rugby legend was not just the day France won Olympic gold, it was the culmination of a career defined by brilliance, courage, and an unwavering passion for the game. He is a true inspiration, and his legacy will continue to shine for generations to come. So what's next for Antoine Dupont? Do you think he could help France win their first ever Rugby World Cup? Put your thoughts in the comments down below. While you're down there, hit the like button and subscribe. With that all said and done, it's been your boy John Talks Rugby, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click on screen now to watch my video on the career of Scottish rugby player Stuart Hogg. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.